you believe you are the best videographer in the world, have that mentality. Obviously, do not be cocky with it, but bring that to the table because it's gonna shine in your work. Fun fact, this is the second time I'm filming this video. My name is Sinclair and welcome to my channel. First of all, I want to say a big thank you for stopping by. This is my first video. I am a professional videographer, cinematographer, cameraman, After Effects guy, whatever you want to call it. But I've been in the game for 12 years now, which doesn't seem that long. And I'm here to just give some information to you, here to just share some stuff that I've learned along my way and just to help you become a better videographer. Over the course of my career, I've had the opportunity to work with big brands, see lots of celebrities and also travel. I want all of that for you, plus more, because we're all here to learn. My personal journey is I started filming when I was very young on a little camcorder. Oh, that would have been sick. So my passion for video started very young. Then I moved on to making little videos on my phone, and then I just progressed and progressed and progressed. And this is how I've gotten here now. So whether you've just started or literally all you have is a camera phone, you can do amazing things with some of the kit you have. So I'm here to just help you bridge that gap and just get to where you need to. So the main purpose of this channel is to basically put my knowledge out there. So in today's video, I want to be talking about imposter syndrome. This is something that I've had to deal with throughout my whole career. A lot of the time I feel like I'm in places I shouldn't be and I feel like I'm underqualified, but I'm pretty qualified and I'm sure you are too. So these are my top tips to how to deal with imposter syndrome. My first tip for dealing with imposter syndrome is to know your craft. Knowing your craft in this industry is so important. And it's not to say that you have to know everything, but just know what you're doing and just have that basic knowledge. It's okay to still learn on the job and it's okay to not know everything, but even if it's a case of like you're just watching a YouTube video, you've read a book, you've just done something to know what you're doing. In your head, you have the knowledge, and even if you're on set and you're having an issue, you're able to reference that knowledge. And I think with me, because I watch so much YouTube videos, I have so much knowledge to pull from. And at times I don't even realize that that little video that I've watched about transitions or that little video that I've watched about an editing technique, I could then bring that to the table and modify it and make it in my way. In the creative industry, you're always tasked for creating. So if you're always taking in information, that's going to help you with your creativity because you'll be able to pull from different things and then you can mix and match and make your own kind of style. I know, like, even during lockdown, I was just watching edit videos because I had nothing to do, and I have picked up so many different ideas that I could use for other things. Even when I'm walking, it's so easy to be influenced or get a creative idea from just walking around and taking in information. So it's always important that you're always looking around and just living in the moment and getting some kind of creative inspiration. So my second tip to deal with imposter syndrome is to always feel free to ask if you need help. This one is a big one for me because me personally, I don't actually like to ask for anything, and if I've got something wrong, I'd rather figure it out by myself. But there's been numerous occasions where I've been on shoots and I've had an issue and I'll work out myself, but I could actually save time if I actually just spoke to someone. This is apparent when I was on a shoot and we was using the Blackmagic Ursa 4Ks. I had never used that camera before. I did my research, I watched a load of YouTube videos to make sure I knew what I needed to do, but I had a problem which was so simple. So the problem I had was putting on the lens, and I know you're thinking that is the easiest thing to do, but it was a PL mount and it wasn't going in, and I was panicking. I'm thinking, if I don't have the lens on the camera, I can't do anything. But it could have been a simple case, but just asked someone there for help and we could have got it done sooner. But the funny thing about this whole situation is the people that were on the shoot seemed like they all knew what they're doing, but upon reflection and asking them afterwards, they were actually less qualified than me. So I was thinking, well, I'm actually the most senior person here, but because I didn't feel like I belonged there, I felt like I brought myself down. So always bring your A game and always ask, because even if you feel like you don't know something, you might actually know something more than the person that's there, so you can actually be a blessing to someone else. So my next tip for dealing with imposter syndrome is believe in your source. So when I say believe in your source, if you believe you are the best videographer in the world, have that mentality. Obviously, do not be cocky with it, but bring that to the table because it's going to shine in your work. Everyone has their own style, everyone has their thing. No one can do what you do. If you feel like you make the best transitions in the world, just do that and be like, this is my thing, this is what I do, this is what I bring to the table. Because when it comes down to being hired, you will get hired for those specific skills or stuff that you bring to the table over someone else. And you may feel like, oh, I'm underqualified, or I don't do this, or I don't do that, but believe in your source. Like, there's so many times that like I don't believe in my source, and I feel like if I believed in my source just a little bit more, I would be way ahead of where I am right now. And the reason I say that is because I've looked back at my work and I'm just like, raw. I'm actually good at what I do, and people compliment me in my work, and I find it really hard to believe at times. But I feel like at the same time, it does keep you grounded to not be overconfident or over cocky, but believe in your source. One example is I got told by a client that they were gonna hire someone to replace me as a freelancer. And I said, okay, cool, that's no problem. I'm not trying to go into a 9-to-5 job. And what happened in the end is that they hired someone, but it wasn't me. So the source that I brought to the table, that person couldn't bring it. So I ended up being hired even more than I was before. Like I said, believe in your own source and get saucy. My second to last tip about dealing with imposter syndrome is not worrying about your kit. The reason I say this is because we live in a day and age now where there's so many cameras that do so many amazing things. We have phones that do crazy stuff. I didn't have that opportunity. So when it comes to you working in production now, you know your kit and you know what you're doing. Don't worry about what the status quo is or what everyone else is doing. If you have a camera that's cheap and you can make it look like an expensive camera, do you? When I first started out, if you didn't have a Canon 5D Mark II, you wasn't getting hired. So I had to make it my job to make my little Canon 60D look like a 5D Mark III. So get to know your gear and know what you're doing and prove everyone wrong. Don't get too caught up in the kit. Get more caught up in the story and how you're gonna make your image look the best that you can. So my final tip of dealing with imposter syndrome is not being afraid to be you. This kind of bounces back to believing your own source, but this is a little bit different. When it comes to the creative industry, you end up working with people that have been doing it for a long time. Some people have been doing it for a short time, but there's a lot of rules and standards that are in set. Rules were meant to be broken. In this day and age, you see a lot of people doing stuff that they're not supposed to do or what people frown at. So these little ideas, these little gems, they wouldn't come if you wasn't you. And it's very easy to slip into the background or not even give a suggestion, but always bring you to every job that you do. And this also helps with when you're dealing with clients, because if you are very mundane or you don't have a presence about you, they won't have that kind of enjoyment when working with you, and you always want to leave a good memory. So if you're someone who comes to set, you bring a presence, you come with great ideas, they're always going to want to bring you back. And that's always going to help you because you need to get this money. So yeah, thank you very much. That was my tips on dealing with imposter syndrome. Hopefully they helped you. If you've got any questions or you'd like to know anything more, do feel free to drop me a message and I will get back to you. Like I said, my name is Sinclair and I will catch you in the next one. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, you know how it is. Ow.